are maybe live. Dropping a lot of frames right now, so ideally I'm gonna wait for that to stop. It does not seem like it wants to. I'm continuously dropping like every frame. That's not gonna stop. Right, well, I wanted to multi-stream on Twitch. It appears that
What a welcome refuge this place
my
is.
internet
The
will
arcanist
not
under
be
this
allowing
roof
me
can
to do
enjoy
that.
their freedom without being hampered by
So
any
I
red tape.
apologize to Twitch side, but
And there seems to be always more room for
gonna
new
have to
guests.
on the Twitch side of things. Hopefully. I might just have to restart stream entirely for that. Right, whatever. Just have to restart stream, then come back without Twitch. So never mind, I think it ended. Some things are being weird.
Hey. She's utterly motionless, breathing steadily,
Side.
taking a nap. Is this some kind of new trend? Sleeping while standing up? Maybe I can show her something to bring her back.
Yeah, my internet just hates me. Really do not want to postpone this again though. Like, I am consistently dropping like 50% of my frames. No, is stream fine on your side? Because OBS is telling me I'm losing like half of my frames. But I kind of really don't want to have to postpone stream again. I'm straight up losing 2/3 of my frames right now. Wait, it might be back. No longer losing frames. Let me just check what my speed is at. See if I can raise the bitrate from 3000 again. My upload speed is straight up just 3. Going to... Probably a bad idea, but I'm going to try to start Twitch again. I'm going to be very prepared to just shut it down though. I do have my FPS set to 30. That's just so I'm able to stream in the first place. Back from China. Hope China was good.
Hey. She's utterly motionless, breathing steadily, taking a nap. Is this some kind of new trend? Sleeping while standing up? Maybe I can show her something to bring her back.
Yeah. Twitch started and I immediately started dropping frames. So, apologize Twitch, but you need to be calm. Would have liked to multi-stream, but my internet hates me, so... At least I'm stable on YouTube. I stream stable if I just do YouTube. Also, I think you're like a solid 15 seconds behind. When you eventually catch up to this portion, that was like, that was a bit ago.
A healthy body is a precondition for a truly healthy mind.
Whatever.
It helps you think quick.
I'm just gonna start. Message delivered. We live in independence, and we depend on others to survive. Your internet speed like super slow. It's not supposed to be, but usually ends up being so. So my download speed is supposed to be like 60-ish, but it usually ends up being like less than 10.
When the first proverb appears on the shell, we reach the shores of elsewhere. The island, the upturned palm of Mother Sea.
The once drifting boat now beds itself in the golden sand.
When the second proverb appears on the shell, we kindle the fire, the crackling warmth, the spark of hope.
The joyful people are long blessed as one.
When the third proverb appears on the shell, we accept the sea's gift. The rolling waves, the plentiful fish,
The cool sea breeze cradles us.
When the fourth proverb appears on the shell, we face the test. The salty tears, the longing gaze.
Beyond the sea, I find no home. Beyond the sea, I find no home.
You did well today, Tutu.
Thank you, Kamitsa. I was just playing my part in celebrating the success of the trade season. Nothing special, really.
Genshin could never.
But what are we doing here? What could be more important than the celebration? I've never seen you sneak off on a bonfire night before.
Depend on how much frames we do in the games. True. I do still need my strength to be at least somewhat stable.
Tutu, do you think you and your friends could fix up that old ship? I know you're close with Toa, Solane, and the rest. They always make sure their first vows go to you. I'm sure they'd be happy to lend you a hand. And the elders like you too. I've heard many of them say they'll leave their spirit shells to you. So you can win their support too, right?
30 FPS isn't terrible as long as it's consistent. Most PS4 games run on only 30 FPS. Like Bloodborne still only runs on 30.
Whoa, slow down, Big Chief. Are you saying you want to fix up the quick spear?
Yeah.
But why? We've kept it docked for years.
Maybe one day we'll need to set sail again. To fish or spend some time on another island.
But the merchants already come by every few months to bring us hollow fruits and red snappers. Why would we need to sail?
With the paces back and forth in front of a tutu, where it's stuck in his throat.
Yeah, but what if a storm hits? Are we just going to sit around and let the waves wash away our homes?
We've been through much worse than a few
FPS.
storms.
Yeah, 25 FPS is definitely starting to push it a little. She raises her head proudly.
Remember when the waves came and took away Malaga? Hailani cried for days over that little pebble castle. And then that strange oil polluted the water all around Ititi, the only place where the water's calm enough to hold a pow-pow race. We haven't held a race since.
Yeah, especially since Overwatch's like significantly more competitive. Having only 25 frames is definitely gonna not help.
Then Miti and Vaipuna. But we've made it through. Because that's what we do in the face of difficulties, right? We stick together. Besides, we're doing just fine on Melly.
But what if we lose Melly to the waves as well?
Playing Overwatch in 25 frames is like the anime trope where someone has just absurdly where someone's like absurdly strong even though they have like 1,000-pound weights on their shoulders.
If it comes to that, Tutu, I need you to take everyone and leave. Find somewhere to stay for a while. Can I ask that of you?
Tutu's brow furrows.
You've been acting strange, brother. Are you thinking of sneaking off and leaving us?
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Neither are the
I've had
rest of
to
us,
class.
brother.
Good luck in class. See you in a bit.
No. You must get ready. Start preparing now.
Something's been bothering you since last trade season. You've been spending a lot of time at the beach, looking out to the sea.
Yes. 30th on a competitive shooter, yeah?
Did a witch put a spell on you? You better wear some malacca around your neck and carry nip bones and doll sleeves.
No. There's no witch. It's just something Miss Grace told me. It's been bugging me.
Miss Grace? That outsider who calls herself a captain?
With the singing of Luke, the trade festival slowly comes to an end. On the beach, bid farewell to their guests in twos and threes, enjoying this rare moment of leisure.
I don't mean to alarm you, Mr. Kamuda. But 3 months from now, Melly will be devoured by a tsunami.
She stands nonchalantly, as if discussing something insignificant.
Miss Grace, don't say such nonsense. You're welcome as a guest, but that doesn't give you the right to spread fear among my people.
What if I told you that the sinking of Malaga and Vaipuna wasn't entirely caused by the tsunami, but there were other factors at play? It is true that the tsunami sent them into the sea, but long before it struck, foreign military forces had been eyeing the islands for their strategic value.
Those rumbling sounds, they weren't thunder?
They were torpedoes launched by humans.
She presents a thick document in her hand.
And I have some unfortunate news regarding them.
Kamuta grabs the cold and personal
The
stack of
area is
papers.
now under martial law. Any development plans for the region should be revised accordingly. These coordinates, they cover Nukuteao.
After a brief investigation, they concluded that your home is an unoccupied area suitable for their weapon testing. It won't be long before they publish a report on this new test site and receive their rewards for discovering it.
The veil of nothingness was cast by our ancestors to protect us from the outside world. I never thought it would put us at risk. As chief, I must bring this to the attention of my people. Perhaps it's time we remove the mist, but without it, we'll draw all kinds of attention.
Kamuta clenches the report tightly in his fist.
Miss Grace, may I borrow this document? My people need to see this.
Be my guest. But you'd better persuade them quickly.
Why's that?
As far as I know, they're looking to expand the test site. It's on their agenda now.
Right. We'll have to set up a meeting with them to negotiate.
Certainly. I wish you the best of luck persuading those warmongers. And for your safety in the coming tsunami.
Every nonchalant word that leaves her mouth strikes Kamuta with the shocking gravity of the situation.
With all due respect, Miss Grace, not even the Nukutai can predict the movements of the ocean that far in advance. On what basis are you making this forecast?
It's not a forecast, Mr. Kamuta. Call it the wisdom of hindsight. Or perhaps I should put it more clearly. Have you heard of the storm?
is
rain's
she?
getting heavier. We must go inside.
Rain blurs Kamuta's vision. He stares in the distance, his eyes widening as the frothing waves rear towards the coast. The sea level is rising.
It's the tsunami. It's happening.
Like the soil beneath the ever-rising waterline, Kamuta's muttered words are quickly buried. The sea has almost swallowed the whole atoll.
What's going on, Tutu? Kamuta?
A worried figure hurries over.
No time for questions, Toa. We must bring these baskets to safety.
But Tutu is already pushing as many woven baskets filled with berries and bubbling material as she can up to higher ground. Her hands are sore red. Her face stamped with desperation, desperate determination.
There's food and clothes in there.
Here, I'll give you a hand.
A tall figure rushes over, grabbing the baskets from the children's hands and tossing them aside.
Chief, what are you doing?
Leave them! There's no time. We must get to the ship. Now!
Our people still have to live after the flood's over. If we don't bring something, what are we going to eat? Or where? These things won't fall into our laps, you know.
Listen, it's different this time. You...
Before Kamuta can finish speaking, a few dark shadows start out from the forest.
Tutu! Watch out!
A row of sharp claws grazes Kamuta's back.
What are all these splinter cats doing here?
The near endless surge of critters start to create an even greater panic.
These aren't just splinter cats. Are those Sarmatian sea snails? And crabs with ghost faces?
I've never seen them all come out together before. What kind of storm is this?
The flashes of lightning, doubt and worry flicker across Nukata's face.
They can sense the coming tsunami. Come! We need more hands to drive them off.
Understood.
And time to... Such a detailed face. Yeah, usually for NPCs they don't even have a face. It's like slight shading in the
Embrace
eyes.
rather than resist. Or this one. This will
Just
help.
something about
I'll be
playing a
right
game.
here. Like a metaphor?
Easy videos.
To the right. This book. Don't worry. It's been proven safe. To read.
Easy video game.
Great. Now back to the salon.
Here to the other NPCs. The fleeing critters surge like a tide, scattering the nuke. There are many left wounded.
Go! All of you! Now!
Gray skin.
Everyone
Only
get
one
to
of
the
them.
quick spear!
This tsunami, it's the worst I've ever seen. Is it true? Is this the end of Melly?
Tutu! Don't just stand there. Get over here!
In the shadows, a spring
Leste
frost strikes.
Tupandvala.
The inky black indentation flashes past her. familiar face appears at the highest point of the reef.
Miss Grace!
Grace surveys the scene, a gentle smile on her face.
Seems I'm right on time.
You're Miss Grace.
You should be more careful out here, dear. People of New Kateao, are you ready to set sail?
Pale shadow gracefully lands beside Fututu.
Set sail? No. You've got this all wrong, outsider. We're not going anywhere. We Nukata will not abandon our home.
The string of shells around Fututu's neck heaves along with the defiant breaths in her chest.
Tutu, wait. Maybe Miss Grace knows a better way.
She pulls away from Kanuta's hands.
Refuse all you like, miss, but your homeland will be completely submerged before long.
Words are light, almost careless, as they toy with this unmoving rock before her.
We appreciate your help, Miss Grace, and we'll make sure to return the favor as best we can. But we don't find your view on the situation all that convincing.
You don't, do you?
The critter, now bound by Grace's incantation, is pulled before Fututu.
Take a look at this little creature. One of nature's many remarkable creations. It has a fitting name, too. The Moon-Eyed Fiddler. They hide themselves in the water, covering their traces with the ebb and flow of the tide. They only come ashore when the tide is high, and from there they migrate to quieter waters. To diviners and arcane dealers, they are the living gold of the ocean. But to the people who live near their regular habitats, they are an ill omen. Wherever they appear, floods are sure to follow.
Grace takes a few subtle steps towards Fututu.
This tsunami is only the beginning. Animals migrate and leave their homes behind when conditions become unfavorable. You should do the same. Look around you. Think about your people.
The tide of critters seem to have subsided, but the Nuktai still bleed. Fututu can clearly hear the label of size and
Tutu,
gas.
it's okay. We know you have your reasons.
Fututu stands frozen. The sand and gravel carried by the seawater rush. Tears well up in her eyes, as the molten gray of the sky above seems to
Do
merge
we
something.
really have to leave?
Grace gently adjusts Fututu's collar, wiping the rain from her face.
The outside world is indeed full of dangers, but there is less to fear than you think. I'll help you through it.
The tide grows more turbulent, crashing against the rocks and shaking foundations. There's a series of crashes like the coconut tree falls and the earth crumbles and falls into the sea.
There it is, our ship.
Last evenings on Earth.
Today's headlines. A new naval testing site has been established in an unoccupied area of the eastern Pacific Ocean to facilitate future armament research and development. South America is facing a significant economic crisis marked by stagnation, inflation, and rising unemployment. The poverty rate in several regions has reached new highs in the last decade. The Ocean Conservation Association is calling for greater attention to be paid to the oil spill near the archipelagos, claiming that the relevant organizations have yet to launch a full investigation into the cause of the incident. The Free Breeze cruise ship is set to arrive in Sydney Harbor later today. Astrophysicists forecast a solar eclipse this month.
My hand precisely presses the little green button. The painful wail follows.
Oh, Miss Radio! How could you do this to me? Today of all days? Your bloody alarm ruined my precious holiday lying!
My apologies, Miss Regulus. But it wasn't an alarm. It was the daily news broadcast.
Spotted aside, Miss Radio seems to have a clear signal.
If the morning news isn't quite to your taste, I can offer a variety of alternatives, including programs on literature and music critique, Australian food, and so on.
Ugh, no!
Her cry echoes through the room.
Sorry, it seems I've caught you at a bad time.
Ezra, having just peeked his head through the door, immediately ducks back. One-sided conflict seems inevitable. True boy.
But please be careful, Miss Regulus. I know the LSCC encourages us to examine machines like Ms. Radio, but I don't think a violent disassembly would go down so well.
Regulus gets to her feet.
Violence? If there's any sort of violence in this room, I'm the one receiving it! Where's my justice?
Well, I'm afraid justice might be slow to come. The Australian branch is going through restructuring at the moment. Things will be put on hold for a while. In the meantime, you've been assigned to a new team, the Storm Research Group.
What? Me?
Yes, Mr. Ulrich's leading it. He made a special request for you to be on the team. He's looking forward to meeting you in person.
What? Just like that? Didn't anyone care to ask me what I wanted to do?
Regulus's puzzled expression soon gives way to a sudden realization.
Wait, why are you telling me this now?
The list of group members and the reasons for their selection have been up on Laplace's website for a week now. And today is its official founding day. You should be there, as a Laplace staff member and an important part of the new team.
Huh? Hold on a minute. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still on Team Timekeeper. And, more importantly, I'm still on my time off. Good to see that you actually paid attention in our last group meeting, Regulus.
The owner of the suitcase, Regulus's saver, the great timekeeper, arrives at the door.
Vertin! Oh, thank God you're here. Go on, tell them I'm still on holiday.
The fast-drowning pirate is hoping for a life preserver.
Sorry to break it to you like this, Regulus, but today's our last day off. You can't be serious! Of course I am. Also, Mr. Ulrich has invited us to attend the ceremony in Laplace. Shall I give you a moment to get ready? No!
Skill issue. Free breeze. Ah, the sea breeze. The freedom. The last day of vacation already slipping away. These chess pieces are a lot more detailed than they usually are.
Captain, we seem to have deviated from our route to Laplace.
The road to the LSCC is ever fraught with obstacles.
A great pirate, Mr. Apple, doesn't simply rely on her compass. She must listen to her heart too.
Ah, this Apple thought you were trying to slip away to make the most of your final day off.
Well, that too.
Like Odysseus returning victorious from the Trojan War, Regulus nimbly dives into the vortex, through one vortex after another.
Come get your sucker rat whiskers all the way from Brazil. Perfect for brewing a chill wind elixir. Only 185 sharpadontes. See anything you like? You won't find a better price anywhere.
This is a good price. Do you have more of this stuff? Show me everything you've got.
Captain, might I remind you that Miss Sotheby is not travelling with us at this time?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Broke. The temptations before them seem to be endless. Street artist sings as paint flies through the air, almost splashing onto Regulus' sunglasses.
All right, mate. Whoa, love the colours. How about bringing in some pop art? Trust me, it'll take it to a whole new level. You should come visit London sometime. We've got some seriously groovy art on the streets.
He's referred to the Indian currency.
Pop art? That's a bit dated, don't you think?
I beg your pardon?
Just as Regulus rolls up her sleeves, ready for tussle, a not too distant cheer grabs her attention.
Did you hear that? We better go over there and check it out, Mr. Apple.
What is it? Could it be Manus Vindictae? Miss Verton did caution us against the Manus followers we might encounter in Australia.
No, it's something much more important than that.
Very large boat. What is that instrument? That is an abomination.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest sail-away party in all Australia. For those of you who haven't signed up for the trip, think again. This is the ultimate sailing experience. Relaxation, food, drink and music. Don't miss out. The free breeze is about to set sail. No need to worry about currency exchange, whether it's Australian dollars, sharpadontes, arcane materials, or a rare collectible item. All are welcome in exchange for a ticket of equal value.
What even is this? It's like a harp, a guitar. What? There's some kind of wind instrument there.
A small price to pay for an unforgettable journey with the talented multi-instrumentalist Barcarola and her fantastic crackling box.
The cheers grow louder and louder.
We've also prepared a little gift for our most enthusiastic guest. A free cruise ticket!
That's what I'm talking about!
This apple should have known better.
Ladies and gentlemen, the party starts now! Put your hands together for the enchanting Miss Barcarola and her captivating melodies!
Woohoo!
Compliments gush from the ticket seller's mouth as the star at the center of the stage steadily turns her face away.
You're much too kind, Mr. Hamish, saying all these wonderful things about me. But I'm only a cruise musician.
Is that a clarinet?
It's thanks to the collective efforts
And the
of the
piano.
whole crew that the Free Breeze has been so successful. I just feel privileged to be a part of it.
I know you want to stay humble, Miss Barcarola, but there's no reason to be so modest. Many of our guests come aboard just to hear you play, and I'm sure there will only be more in the future. So what's the harm with hyping the crowd up with a little round of applause?
He's there.
Well, if it's for the ship, I suppose I can handle a little publicity.
Of course you can, and you deserve it too. By the way, do you know the guest over there? She's very, enthusiastic.
She follows the direction he's pointing to find a particularly lively duo among the crowd. Girl dressed in red and blue, and the floating apple.
And drumming up the crowd! Sold us a load more tickets. We've never sold out so quickly.
Alright everyone, listen up. I've got some exciting news to share. This piece of paper in my hand could be your ticket to an incredible seafaring adventure. Just think about the cool breeze, the spruced up cruise ship, and the awesome music. What more could you ask for? This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for a trip you'll never forget. So, let's get buzzing! Throw your hands in the air and your coins out of your pockets, and let your dreams come to life. Let's hear those coins jingle and fill your spirit soar!
The cheering grows louder and louder.
Is she a local? Australians are known for their sunny disposition.
No one knows her, miss. But to be honest, I'd love to invite her to join the crew. If only the captain weren't so picky with the new recruits.
She nods approvingly as if really dancing figure and clutches her crackling box tighter to her chest.
I know what you mean. Her enthusiasm is infectious. Maybe her energy would wake up our stuffy new captain. I'll never understand why the captain fired the old crew and hired a load of people who don't seem to have any clue about music. All they do is make noise, and not the good kind either.
Several startled gazes land on Barcelona.
We better keep it down, miss. They'll hear us.
He turns, peeking in the direction of the ship before awkwardly retracing his neck.
We didn't hear any dissenting opinions about our captain now, did we?
No,
of course not.
The crew members glance at each other awkwardly, laughing softly to urge the embarrassing moment to pass quickly. Guests come and go, and melodies continue one after another. Eventually, the sail-away party comes to an end.
Captain, if I may, perhaps it's time we made our way to La Place.
Come on, Mr. Apple. The crowd's going crazy for us. Can't you see how close we are to winning that free ticket?
I suppose you're right, Captain. But the crew seems to be packing up for the day.
They what?
Regularly quickly intercepts the crew's team before they can make their way back onto the ship.
Oh, can I help you? I'm afraid Miss Barcarola won't be signing any more albums today.
What about my free ticket? Wasn't I the most enthusiastic guest tonight?
Sorry, miss. But the most enthusiastic guess was really just a turn of phrase. We're nearly sold out tonight, and bookings are still coming in. I don't think we can spare a ticket for you. Come by next time, and we'll see what we can do.
You!
Easy, Captain. They never really explained what they meant by the most enthusiastic guest. We're in no position to argue.
Regulus glances around. The once bustling crowd has dwindled to just a few scattered passerby. Clearly, there's no one present to uphold justice for her.
What a bloody scam! I'm filing a complaint. Just you wait and see.
I understand your frustrations. The ship is sailing in just a couple of days. Even if you file a complaint right at this moment, we won't hear a thing from the tourist office before we set sail.
Barcelona frowns and pulls the crewman aside.
I feel bad for her, Mr. Hamish. And just think how this will affect our reputation. With your consent, I'd like to offer this young lady a ticket and a stay in my cabin. I'll be more than happy to pay for her.
You've done this so many times, Miss Barcarola. I'm afraid I have to turn you down. You know the new captain won't exactly be thrilled to have a freeloader on the ship.
But
Regulus barges between the two muttering colleagues.
So, how much longer do you need to think up an excuse?
All right. In the view of your outstanding enthusiasm, we offer you a special gift for your help with our event. There. Thanks for your support.
A stack of souvenirs is thrust into his arms. Someone pulls out a marker and cries out for her.
I'm so sorry about all this, Senora. I hope this will compensate for it.
Huh?
I hope we can see each other again. Preferably soon.
What?
Cryptography for beginners. Wait, hold on. For that, how many? Yeah, about 20. There are 4 boss stages. Interesting. Cryptography for beginners is one of the many trivial obstacles our great captain must overcome. glass tank leans forward, the ferrofluid ripping around inside it. Ferrofluid pauses at the information presented before it.
So, they gave you this flyer at the sail-away party?
Not just that one, there's a whole stack of them.
All right, Researcher Regulus, I think I've got everything down. Let's run through it again. Researcher Regulus suffered horrendous mistreatment during the pre-sale event of the Free Breeze, which has had a significant psychological impact on her. In order to recover from this traumatic event, she formally requests
A 1-year advance on her salary and 15 days of leave. The funds are to be used solely to book passage on a cruise trip, with the goal of replacing her negative experience from the pre-sale event with a more positive one. I'm telling the truth!
The ferrofluid remains still for a long moment.
I can see that bottle of artificial tears in your hand, Regulus. Please put it away. There's no need for dramatics.
Thank you, Ulrich. I knew there was a soft spot underneath all that metal.
Not so fast, Regulus. I never said I agreed to your request.
No? Why? I'm a researcher just like anybody else, aren't I? Shouldn't Laplace be looking out for my well-being?
Regulus? You've been working in Laplace for 11 months now, and you still haven't submitted your performance appraisal or published a single valid project result. In other words, you haven't completed your probationary period, so you can't get the benefits of a full-time employee. And to top it all off, you didn't even show up to register at the first Storm Research Group meeting.
In the face of such overwhelming evidence, there is no room for rebuttal.
Well,
The protestation has grown noticeably weaker.
Please save me the excuses. There's still a chance for you to turn things around. You can take another assessment. We'll use the results to make up for the assessments you've missed. It'll be crucial for your performance review and, consequently, your employee benefits.
Beat up Regulus.
Bring it on.
Easy there, Researcher Regulus. You're taking a test, not going to war.
Ulrich turns and reaches into a bookshelf. Clearly he has prepared for such an outcome. Document after document is pulled from the bookshelf and placed on the table, though Regulus can no longer see above them.
I thought you said it was just a test.
I did, and I meant it. This is just some light reading, for you to reference during the test. And this is the test. The numbers on this paper may appear random, but they're actually an encrypted code. Your task is to figure out what the message is. You can use the computer to help you, and you might find some useful books and papers in the second drawer on your left. The instructions for the computer and a guide on how it works are all in there. Given its difficulty, there is no time limit for this test. Best of luck, Researcher Regulus.
You better keep your word, Ulrich, or you'll be no different than those sailors. At least they didn't torture me with maths. Lend me your strength, Brian May, Jim Morrison, Frank Zappa. Oh, God!
So much time has passed. Regulus has lost all concept of it. Endless numbers dance before her eyes, spinning and blurring together. It's like she's descended in some kind of cursed land of numbers.
You're taking a test, not going to war.
Captain, this apple has an impression on this.
Maybe you were their target because you are an irrational number.
Is it really a puzzle unsolvable?
Are you scared?
Captain!
Follow me, Regulus.
Best of luck, Researcher Regulus.
Where am I? Who am I?
You go beside you. He's going insane. For days, she's brought back to her days in Apeiron.
Why is this happening to me? Is this some kind of cruel joke from that Apeiron lot?
This realization seems to clear her mind for a moment. There's no escape from those mathematical demons.
Somebody! Anybody! Help me! Please!
Don't be fooled by a walking fish tank. A petty little test from class, not the end of your life. Lines to the border. Follow Replace's rules. Oh, it's just a Sudoku. A very easy Sudoku. See? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've seen a play, but he's stuck here. It would be nice if there was like an option for a harder Sudoku. Because I do actually play Sudoku fair amounts. 4, 5, 8. 3, 4, 5. Sudoku, yeah, I do actually play a fair amount of Sudoku on my own, so I wish there was like an option for a harder one at least. Mathematical onslaught seems endless. Which opens the door and takes Regulus's scribbled piece of notepaper.
Glad to see you're still in high spirits, Researcher Regulus. But this doesn't add up. I gave you an encrypted code, not a Sudoku puzzle.
What do you mean?
Regulus looks as though she's just been struck by lightning.
Come on, get yourself together. The 9th storm has passed, Researcher Regulus. You've had plenty of time to brush up on your math.
Elfish strides over, picking up a paper from the desk along his way.
All right, let me explain. All you have to do is a basic decode and transcription of the result using the Laplace encryption key. See how the 4th from last digits have changed? There are no numbers greater than 24 within the 17th interval, and those in the 18th interval don't exceed 59. So, if we make a bold assumption here, these numbers have probably been coded using Laplace's nomenclature, where the codes of time are always placed between the 12th and 18th intervals. You'll see this a lot here. We use them for ships, satellites, manpower arrangements, and such. Finally, we input the result into the Laplace astronomy database to see if we find any matches, and there. A set of photos taken from space.
Huh? Are you telling me I spent the whole day doing this just to find a few photos?
These aren't just any photos, Researcher Regulus. Take a closer look. The first picture was taken on December 2nd, 1995, the day the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory was launched.
Ulrich continued to deliver a flurry of information.
The second picture was taken on June 25th, 1997, during a period of sunspot activity. The third one is from November 21st, 1998. It's an image of the first satellite ever deployed from a space station.
And the fourth is from December the 28th, 1999. Is that a rugby game?
Yes. Looks like it was the last one held in that stadium in Melbourne. The place is just a commercial district now.
Her eyes wander after the next photo, and she freezes.
But, wait. This isn't right. If you're suggesting what I think you are, then these next photos are...
Her eyes widen.
That's right. From the fifth photo onward, we can't pinpoint their exact time or location, but it seems they involve Halley's Comet, 136199 Eris in the Kuiper Belt, the Uluru Games, and a rock festival. And there are more. Take a look at these timestamps. February 9th, 2001, October 21st, 2003, November 2005.
And the last one's from... April the 16th, 2007.
Ulrich looks out to the endless blue of the sky, outside.
This proves one thing. Before all our struggles to study and control the effects of the storm, this pioneer crossed the storm unscathed and sent us these images.
The storm. Heavy topic. Once again it rears its ugly head, mocking anyone who dares try to make sense of its absurdity.
But...
thankfully, there will always be someone who doesn't bend to its desires.
Why are you telling me all this? Did everyone else's assessments turn into some kind of top-secret briefing? All I wanted was an advance on my salary.
Fluid gives a stiff pang.
Just for once, could you see the bigger picture here? We've been presented with an amazing opportunity. And all you can think about is your salary?
Regulus is getting lectured. Music of the era. Crater Music Festival. Crowd moves in rhythm to the chorus of Night of Revelry. This on the ground. Look what I found. Regulus getting distracted again. 99. Welcome to Stream, Curio.
The dust in here. What, are we inside some kind of vacuum cleaner? Is that why you always wear that fish tank on your head?
Familiar with Regulus's quirks, Ulrich opts for the most efficient form of communication. None.
What's got you so quiet? Pulling the strong and silent act now?
Here we are.
The site has been utterly neglected. Dust and debris litter every corner of it.
Here? As in...
The Laplace launch site in Sydney. We've collaborated with the Foundation and the Space Agency for various projects here.
Thanks for the heads up. I almost thought we just barged into some rock star's house.
It will actually take another 2 years before this place becomes an official launch site.
Oh, yeah, right. We're basically living in the past.
I visited various launch sites to verify the photos. Guiana Space Center, Placid's Cosmodrome. Then, I found this place. Most of its archives were lost in the storm, but a small portion of the early records survived. I left them here with the rest of the files I compiled.
They scatter in the air as he rummages through the files.
Damn it! Where did they go?
The ferrofluid tremors in his tank.
Huh. So, does this mean we can all go home now?
Absolutely not. Alright, new task. Stay put and don't touch anything. I need to find those files.
Fine.
As Ulrich makes his exit, Regulus scans the room, Aiklin glowing behind their eyes.
Oh, amazing! An old military base. Mysterious photos. This is going to be juicy. No chance Ulrich is stopping this rockin' pirate from going after treasure. I mean, very, very important files.
And, research things. Yeah.
The hunt is on. Ha-ha! Let's start with what's on this table.
Regulus gets told to not touch anything and immediately starts touching things. Clinking and clattering of rummaging fills the air, like a string of cheerful musical notes.
La 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 da 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 do 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 do. I almost forgot. Can't go treasure hunting without some music to rock out to.
Turning the knob, she powers up the amplifier.
Woohoo!
The book belongs to Rock. Vibrations reach Ulrich, causing the ferrofluid to ripple. Even the desk is trembling.
Damn it! I forgot to tell her to keep quiet.
Screech of a bird pierces through the pumping music.
What's happening? Is this an earthquake?
A few agile black shadows leap to the upper parts of the observation deck. Tremor is free and no pinned to the wall and flutters it to the ground. Handwriting is all too familiar. Investigation reported. Multiple tripedal attacks on humans have occurred in this area. Remember, keep your movements quiet.
Ah, crap! This is the note I wrote last time I was here.
Ferrofluid ripples violently.
Regulus! Turn off that speaker, now!
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be able to hear.
Da 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 da.
Regulus is too immersed in her treasure seeking to hear him. A blob of dark green sludge shoots down from above, which darts aside, narrowly avoiding the attack.
For fuck's sake! I knew I should have upgraded my memo module!
He looks to the observation deck. There's Regulus, playfully twisting to the music.
Calm down, Ulrich. You're a leader. It's part of your job to clean up after your team.
He looks over the priceless equipment around him and sighs before ducking to the emergency exit. This is why you have one ear out. Tulu. The Trapperers follow in hot pursuit. Sure, it'd be a shame if I just didn't actually have to play the game.
I'll do my best.
Just auto it.
Good luck before this one. Listen. Would you care to lie down? Like a metaphor? Hey! Did I miss something? This book write a fragment of truth. To read. Signed. All in moderation. Great. Now back to the salon.
Rather do my homework now? Probably. Would be recommended. Ulrich sends a current through the electric components around him, creating a of sounds that sends a tripod scattering.
Flux! Flux! Finally it's over.
Ulrich stuffs the last piece of damaged equipment into the recovery bin. But how killing is bad.
Relax, don't overheat. You'll have to get used to this if you want to be a good leader.
Regulus bounces slightly into the room.
Ulrich! Look what I found!
She waves her treasure. These documents signed in bold by Ulrich himself.
Where's my round of applause? If you're even half a leader, you'll fight your hardest to get a decent salary for such an outstanding employee as myself.
She shoots him a triumphant wink.
Sure.
So,
just one more thing. Scientist to scientist.
Regulus gestures towards the still sparking machine beside Ulrich.
You made some pretty cool electronic music in that battle. Didn't know you had it in you.
Ulrich lets out a deep sigh, deciding to avoid any further arguments with his team member.
Here are all the files related to the satellite. Look them over, Regulus.
Do we have to go through all this right now? Why? Is there some even more juicy stuff in them?
For you, it might be.
We gotta bet his car on black ones.
The satellite carries a variety of arcane items. Space seeds, dragon tree resin compasses, obsidian crystals, WFPCs, astronomical spectrometers. Even its power source is an arcane record player. We've made a list of everything that was on it so we can test them against the artificial storm.
So inspirational, so true.
The satellite is an archive of the wisdom of the entire human race. It somehow survived multiple storms.
What are you gonna do with it?
Sadly, a lack of maintenance caused it to plummet to the Earth. It crashed in your time, 1966.
Regulus's sunglasses slide off her face, but she doesn't even notice. She grabs the stack of documents and flips it to the last page. The telescope officially crashed in 2007, Aldeburgh, England. All onboard instruments were destroyed. Recovery failed. Regulus Space Telescope Project report as above.
The telescope project was named after a record that was on the satellite, which also happens to share your name.
Regulus.
Regulus holds her backpack tightly to her chest. its pockets full of treasures. She flips through a series of records, her hands trembling. Finally, she finds the treasure she's looking for, a record identical to the one depicted in the documents. It's from the 1966 Aldeburgh Carter Music Festival. An accident from the past. And her all-time favorite.
My little thing. It was the record on the satellite.
Yes, that's the one. Wow, you've kept it in great shape.
So, this is the key to braving the storm?
It might be, amongst several other options.
I get it. That's why you wanted me on the storm research team.
Not just that. I've read the Appear on Island reports. You demonstrated some serious talent with the series puzzle in that cave. And you've faced more storms than the majority of the Laplace staff. We're not working together for a couple of research papers. This is about the survival of everything on Earth. We need all the help we can get, including yours.
Regulus falls into an uncharacteristic silence.
In fact, Laplace even held a meeting with the Foundation to discuss borrowing your record. The Foundation suggested we apply for an item transfer order under the Artificial Storm Project and let the Timekeeper take over the matter. Some of my colleagues told me that, according to LSCC regulations, lending assets to the center is mandatory for all staff.
The frequency of the ferrofluid's vibrations is chaotic, like some kind of unsolvable cipher.
But... all right. Let me be honest with you. I'm not comfortable with taking your record by force. It's yours after all. It's your choice what you do with it. So, here I am. Not as your leader, but as myself. Hoping we can find a solution that works for both of us.
Has anyone ever told you that you're terrible at negotiations?
Ah, damn it. I knew it wouldn't be easy.
He angrily knocks his tank with his fist. He's so close to the record he's been searching for. Ferrofluid ripples into a subtle arc.
Go ahead, Mr. Ulrich. Take it. Before I change my mind.
Regulus's expression has never been so serious.
You're willingly giving it over to the Artificial Storm Project?
His careful, prepared arguments vanish in a moment.
For a cause even greater than rock music? Absolutely! But just to be clear, I'm only lending it to Laplace. You have to give it back when you're done. It's the only copy in the world and the future centerpiece of the Regulus Museum.
Thank you, Researcher Regulus. Thank you so much. I was gearing up for a much tougher talk. I even applied for additional funding and a month's leave to offer you as leverage. Well, I suppose I won't have to use it after all.
Regulus freezes.
What?
Just make sure you actually do it. Two cases in its usual harmony. Friends go about their business, each busying themselves in their own little worlds.
Timekeeper!
Sonetto, what's the rush?
I just wanted to remind you that our vacation in Australia is over. If you need any help packing, please let me know.
She wipes the sweat from her forehead, and she remembers something.
Oh, and I have something for you.
She hands her a colorful piece of paper.
Huh?
Regulus asked me to pass these out. She won them at a sail-away party. She said they're highly valuable, the finest choice for any collection, if I recall correctly.
Looks like an ordinary flyer to me.
13% off.
I've already inspected them. They're just advertisements with a handwritten signature in the corner, and some completely over-the-top promises. Regulus told me it's a trick that advertisers use. They use fancy words to catch people's eyes and make it seem more grand. Phrases like, an opulent odyssey upon the boundless sea, tour the illustrious Pacific coast, a veritable feast of harmonic reverie, rare and fortuitous seasonal discount, and facilities unimaginable in their splendor. What's this on the back? Nor happiness, nor harmony, nor fame. Nor pride, nor strength, nor skill in arms or arts.
Those familiar words hit like a tidal wave.
Before a cruel whip, man who man would be must rule the empire of himself. In it, must be supreme, establishing his throne. On vanquished will, quelling the challenges of hopes and fears. Being himself alone.
Mustache here. Have fun with Mustache. Thank you for dropping by. She recoils in shock. The flyer falls to the ground.
Is everything alright, Timekeeper?
PTSD jump scare. This is a poem she once knew immediately. One that had been held by countless young hands and flowed gently through equally young voices. In the tree hollow, in the square, in the outdoors.
Sinetto, change of plan. We need to contact the Foundation, now.
The day we set sail, and all flows converge at sea.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. May the peace be with us.
May the peace be with us, my friend.
Constantine gives a slight nod as she peers into the shadows.
Xeno has been restored to its usual state. Aside from Igor's ardent supporters, the rest of the Xeno soldiers and officers were unaware of his betrayal. Just as we expected. Admiral Igor's funeral has been held as planned, one that befits his rank and status. All relevant personnel remained in South America for the ceremony, as per Xeno's funeral regulations. We're in the process of selecting a new admiral. I'll provide you with a candidate list shortly. Additionally, we've dispatched an investigative team to Tierra del Fuego to search for Igor.
Very well. What about the girl?
He pauses.
The girl? Are you referring to Lopera? Her emotions have stabilized, so we've decided to leave her in South America for the moment. Of course, she'll be put through the necessary investigations as circumstances dictate.
Yeah, better at least to have some progress, even if it's slow progress. Yeah.
Keep a close eye on her.
It's a lot better to do something for like an hour a day for a week instead of doing it 7 hours just on the one day.
Oh, and that little singing bird?
Constantine takes a step closer, lowering her voice.
Zeno is quite upset about our decision regarding Miss Kimberly. They're insisting she undergoes a more thorough investigation. I feared that if we gave too much pushback, they would take a more extreme stance in response. So I agreed.
Those soldiers never budge.
Of course, Zeno agreed that the investigation would be done under the supervision of the Foundation. If nothing else comes up, she will be put into the Timekeeper's team and granted the same rights as the other members.
9 hours of progress. Absurd.
Good. Don't keep Verton waiting too long.
Zeno Peace has landed safely. Constantine gives an internal sigh of relief.
There's more. Madam Z has received word from the Timekeeper. The Timekeeper suspects Manus Vindictae is active again in Sydney Harbor. They're likely on board a cruise ship named Free Breeze.
Level the break I just didn't. I mean, you were on vacation. I feel like that's fair.
This would explain why our field investigators have been having difficulties with their tasks. Manus has covered their tracks carefully this time.
Where's the cruise bound for?
That's still unclear, sir. However, Moth just reported in confirming that the ship has passed the Oceania Islands.
An interesting development.
Indeed.
Demon's tone carries an unperceptible trace of pride.
We're making excellent progress. That's good. Assign a new mission to Verton.
Use that I should do something there, but also like be very cautious with free VPNs, because at the end of the day, there's still a business. So if you cannot tell how that business is making money, it is probably you. Most VPNs are siphoning your data.
You mean to send them on that cruise?
We can't keep her under our wing forever.
Which is
Understood.
the conference room falls silence once more. And the layered marble pillars, a flash of white flits past the window. A white dove lands on the president's hand and gently pecks at his palm.
What brings you all the way over here, old friend?
He lowers his head, allowing the bird to nuzzle his fingertips.
Oh.
The white dove takes wing, glittering away once more.
So, Laplace has requested the Foundation's assistance with the artificial storm project?
Yes. Ulrich is overseeing the project and has requested as much asymmetrical nuclide R as we can spare. He's also requested our help in determining the most suitable location for the experiment. I have several in mind that should meet his needs.
Constantine involuntarily pauses for a moment.
The location closest to Laplace's Australian branch is on the sea. Right where the Free Breeze cruise ship happens to be.
I see where you're going.
However, I do have concerns about how this might disrupt our current plans against Manus Vindictae.
Regardless, Laplace will have our full support for the Artificial Storm Project.
Unexpected determination.
But Moth's status still remains unclear. If we proceed too hastily, we might jeopardize the situation.
Her fleeting hesitation catches the President's attention.
I thought you'd have foreseen something like this. A few pieces must be sacrificed if you're to win the game. You know that better than anyone, don't you?
Is this also the Pax House's decision?
You have my word on it.
I see. I'll inform the Timekeeper and Ulrich of their missions.
Thank you. I look forward to their meeting.
We meet again, Timekeeper.
Pleasure's mine, Mr. Ulrich. I've heard good things about your work with Regulus.
Frankly, I was surprised by how selfless, passionate, and forward-looking she is. I'm truly grateful to have someone like her on my team.
The ferrofluid is remarkably stable. Really? This is a sincere statement?
The situation on the Freebreeze is still unclear. We don't know how many Manus Vindictae followers might be on board. Our plan is to board the cruise as ordinary passengers. Regulus said she's made acquaintance with a crew member and has made sure to alter our profiles so we don't attract any unwanted attention.
That's good to hear. So Regulus didn't use her money for her own amusement after all.
After muttering to himself, Ulfrich returns to the task at hand.
We should stagger our boarding times. I'll reach out if I spot any signs of Manus Vindictae. Let's stay in touch. See you on board.
Ulfrich gives her a reassuring pat on the shoulder.
Mr. Ulrich, we're more than happy to assist with your mission.
Oh, no. Please don't trouble yourself. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I'd appreciate your help were the circumstances different. But the experiment is still confidential. Please don't mention it to anyone. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary risks or interference. On the cruise ship, we are but strangers.
I see.
Don't you worry. I have a little disguise for myself, too.
Probably be able to do one more. All games must come to an end. This used Bathadia as from Desert Final in all of Australia. It's my holidays. Your heaps come over for a proper hug. Couldn't ask for better mates. Ends of the year, I still got around to the last copies of Lures Pass and revived bagging tickets for dummies. The issues in the optical laboratory will be dealt with by the time you return. I need to get Elson until you'll be reunited soon enough. Right in seminars hosted by you, pass all year round. Good to know. Of course, all you need to do is download a form from the Voice of the Past, part of form, and hand it over to Team Lead after it's approved. HR put in the queue before. Don't want any of this bureaucratic rubbish. Better we part ways now. Stand here talking for too long with my drunken crowd. In first place in a rock pirate impersonation. It's natural talent. I can't allow this lady to board the ship. Dance. Not everyone's profession meets the regulations. Can't make a scholar. Created the spirit of rock. Once dominated all the radio frequency along the River Thames. In the 60s, she progresses illegally on the Thames, took pleasure in antagonizing illegal broadcasters and record labels. Your board could affect the good reputation of the Free Breeze. Far too young to have lived through the 60s. Outrageous actions in the high seas. Surprised you're so quick to defend her. Perhaps you're famously fresh and just not mocking anyone. Still worried, Captain? Just something that harms a good many of the freebies. You may throw me overboard along with my fur and the crackling box. And this will probably be the last one I have time for. As home fades. The main hall is packed with passengers. Their lines sway slightly, emitting an enchanting luster in the beautiful melody. Those weave their wave carefully through the excited crowd like a school of nimble fish. Passengers nod politely to the girl at the front.
Miss Barcarola, at last you've graced us with your presence. Henry and I were just having a little wager on whether we'd see our musical star outside the spotlight. Looks like he'll be buying me the next round of whiskey, eh?
Well bet, signore. Allow me to pour you the first glass. How do you like your whiskey? On the rocks, perhaps?
Indeed. Thank you, my dear.
Over here, Mum! It's Miss Barcarola! Last time I saw her, she performed an entire symphony all by herself. She was the whole orchestra. I've never seen anything like it.
It's good to see you again, my little friend.
Get an instrument that's interesting. Be sketchy. Woman beside her turns around and lovingly pats the boy on the
Miss
head.
Barcarola, what a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. My child hasn't stopped talking about you since you spoke to him about the didgeridoo at Sydney Harbour. He was so excited by it that he begged us to bring one on board.
How lovely! The didgeridoo truly is an enchanting instrument.
Nothing bad could ever happen in this game.
It's so resonant, don't you think? It almost feels like it's echoing from the depths of the earth itself. I've actually been experimenting with playing it alongside my crackling box. It's a wonderful match with the tin whistle and kalimba, and I'm sure a number of other instruments too.
As she speaks, Barcelona's eyes sparkle with the admiration surrounding her is so bright that it almost blinds the tourist standing nearby.
Looks like she's pretty popular too. Too? Have you forgotten, Sonetto? You're also looking at a popular public figure yourself. One that had half of London hunting. Cheering for her.
Especially not tuberculous as fuck.
The bittersweet burden of fame.
The attention is quickly turned to a quiet corner of the ship. It's a group of people dressed in brightly colored clothes. Crowns made of leaves and flowers adorn their heads, their bronze skin glowing under the warm lights. They stand in a circle, occasionally glancing around, the shells and their crests clinging together.
That group over there seems unusually uptight.
Having absorbed all the absorption from people around her, Barcelona makes her way over. She certainly wouldn't overlook the curiosity of any of her guests.
Oh, those are the captain's special guests. They're from one of the Oceania archipelagos. Nukuteao, I believe. They're probably just a bit nervous. I imagine they don't often find themselves among so many foreigners.
They're handling the small matter at hand. Barcelona is hurried, really called away by distant voices of other guests.
Nukuteao. I read about it in a history of arcane ethnicity back in the SPDM. It's a remote place, and its people hold a special kind of shell at the center of their beliefs. They've rarely made contact with the outside world. It's often been described as a peaceful paradise. I also read that the Nukutai almost never leave their homeland. Why are they here?
Their hushed conversation clearly meets the eyes of the nearby Nukutai. One young boy strides forward,
The
stressed
Nukutai will never abandon our homeland. Just wait. We'll find our way back when the new era comes.
The new era.
Though in a foreign accent, these words sound all too familiar.
Toa, that's enough. Tutu told us not to talk with outsiders.
An equally young girl stands protectively in front of the boy.
But someone had to tell them the truth.
I apologize. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I was just curious.
Well, next time, keep your mouth shut. What could you possibly know about the Nukutai?
The boy looks about ready to explode. Noticing the outburst, Salona breaks away from the other guests and hurries over.
Please, everyone, no fighting. I'm Barcarola, the musical director. Is there anything I can help you with? I'll do all I can to ensure everyone has a pleasant experience.
Before she can reach them, the crisp collection of shells stops Barcelona in her tracks.
What's going on? What do you want?
Her voice holds no restraint in its hostility.
Tutu! It's alone. Toa, stay back. These outsiders can be dangerous.
Dangerous? Have you never heard of me before?
It's Barcelona over, eyes seeing the peculiar wooden contraption by her side. Suppressing her curiosity about this unique object, she steadies her gaze once more.
Whoever you are, I ask that you leave us in peace.
You...
Marcarella is at loss for words. Clearly, her status as a musical star has made her unaccustomed to such remarks. Ignoring the now flushed girl before her, the two and the other Nukutai retreat back to the corner.
Tutu, think the tides you came. I wasn't sure what to do.
So are we going to take Miss Grace's offer or not? She promised it would bring our island back.
Toa casts a fierce glaze at Tutu.
Enough, Toa. These outsiders don't need to know why we're here. And stop mentioning Miss Grace. It could draw unwanted attention.
But what's there to hide? There's no shame in wanting our home back. If we don't stand with Miss Grace, we'll lose Nukuteao forever.
I want to go home too. Probably more than anyone. I already miss Melly's red coral reefs, blue sea, and canoe races. We'll get through this, Toa. I promise we'll be neighbors again, picking breadfruit and coconut flowers together. But before we accept Miss Grace's offer, there's a few things that need to be made clear. And remember, none of these passengers are to blame for what happened to our home. Okay?
But Miss Grace has offered us a way home. We'll have our islands back, just as they were. Our promised land.
We will go home, Sloane. Trust me. I just need to figure out a few things first. Starting with this wonderful new era she keeps talking about.
Tuberculosis sea breeze.
You seem a little on edge, Chief Kamuta.
Kamuda's pacing back and forth in the cabin.
Miss Grace, how much longer do we have to wait for this new era to come? Many of our people have never left Nukuteao before. We're struggling to adjust. Some have even fallen sick. We can't stay adrift on the sea like this much longer. Our spirits are low. The shells of some of my people have begun to crack.
He lowers his head to the faintly glowing shells in his palm. They radiate warmth.
Not everyone is strong enough to endure this journey. Please, Miss Grace, you have to help us.
While it pains me to hear this, the journey must go on. You have nowhere to return to after all. We still have some space below deck. You can use it to store your people's bodies should they die.
Rather crass. Her gaze remains fixed on the crystalline shells in Kamuta's hand.
That's not exactly what we're asking for. Please show us another way. Help us like you did when you foresaw the destruction of Meli. I beg of you.
Grace tilts her head, a glimmer of intrigue on her face as she observes the pained expression of Kamuta's face.
I've already shown you a way, haven't I?
Sudden pressure swells in his chest as a sticky black liquid silently drips onto his skin.
You mean joining the Manus? But the Nukutai haven't had a conflict with anyone for centuries. That's why we hid ourselves away from the world.
Never not be scared of Grace?
Difficult to persuade my people to do this. All we want is for our people to return to familiar soil, to feel our spirits at home. Nothing more.
But Meli is already gone.
Game is really good at making scary women.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we should take revenge on the outside world. It was an act of the sea itself. It would be unjust to blame anyone for it.
What about the torpedo test sites designated over Malaga and Vaipuna? Aren't there people who should answer for that?
It was probably just a mistake. The area they chose was far from the main islands of Nukuteao, and hardly anyone fishes there. They may not have realized that my people lived there.
And the oil spill? The wastewater discharge? Were all those fish killed by pollution also just an act of the sea?
Please, we're not looking for conflict.
Of course you're not. After all, they've only stolen everything you've ever held dear.
His voice drops abruptly, her next words deliver with the lightness of a feather.
And arrogantly assumed every inch of this planet is theirs to exploit. War is inevitable, whether you want it or not, Nukutai.
Gently pushes the mask forward. Its dark presence is unavoidable.
But if you join us, you will have an invaluable ally. time.
Grace glances at her pocket watch before slipping it into her.
The window is closing. The sifting is about to begin.
Both a prompt and a prophecy. Spirit shells around Kamuta's neck burn. They cling to his chest as they twist
Has
with
it really
ferocity.
come to this? To revenge?
His eyes flash at the jagged mask on the table. Black tendrils extend from it, groping at the air at silent division. The spirit shells are almost scorching.
Oh no. It's quite the opposite. It's salvation.
Slowly turns into a horror game. Yeah. Stop there for today. I doubt the next one's gonna last like 20 seconds. And for once, I'm not actually going to roll for the first character. A horror game back in Texas. Green Lake Campsite. Where... yeah, it's also Green Lake Campsite. But anyway, I wasn't streaming this game back during 1.2. You know what? I'll do one temple. That was not worth it. No more camping. I'll, put you in the gambling presentation. Feel free. There are way too many clips of me gambling. For once, I'm not actually rolling for the first banner. Biggest loss. I don't really know if I have like a biggest loss, or at least not that I have recorded that wouldn't just be on the stream somewhere. I'm not rolling for... just use the one from this stream. I do also have like a few clips, I think, that you could go through. Specifically this game. Yeah, I'm not rolling for first banner. When Vtuber comes out in about a week, I'll do like a separate short stream just for gambling. To collect all of these. Yeah, I believe I have like... I'm gonna do a stream dedicated to gambling. I mean, that's gonna be like about 9 days from now. Once the next banner character comes out. I should have... at least one of the shorts from this game should be me threatening to burn down an orphanage, losing the 50. do need to end now. And hopefully, my internet will be stable enough for me to actually stream more than once a year. Focus on your project. Thank you all for joining. Oyasumi.